Hello, everyone.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, Matús. So we switch industry again and also country this time, and we go to the manufacturing industry of our customer Bosch, right? So we have Daniel and Matús here today. And when you see the title of today's presentation, everyone is asking themselves, how does an automated digital factory look like, right? I mean, especially using Flowable. Questions I think you can expect to be answered today is also like, what brought Bosch to start this initiative? What does a fully automated digital factory with a workflow engine do? And what did Bosch already achieve, right? So stay tuned and listen to the presentation. Daniel Matka is today here as a project manager, a chief product officer of the eWOCS solution. eWOCS is the initiative with Flowable doing, let's say, the work there. And Matús Mala is our tech lead from our implementation partner mimacom, which worked together with Daniel in the last months to achieve what they're going to present today. So I really looking forward for today's session. For the audience, there is a Q&A box in the bottom of the screen. If you scroll down a little bit, there is a box where you can ask questions. You don't need to wait for the end of the presentation. You can ask questions at any time, and we will pick them up at the end of the presentation and ask your questions as much as possible to Daniel and Matús. Yeah, having said that, Daniel and Matús, over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Have you read or heard anything about the Bosch Wafer Fab in the past? The Bosch Wafer Fab, the first Bosch AIOT factory, was launched successfully 18 months ago. But what was the journey and how did we get there? Join the session to find out how we focus on the continued digitalization of the fab, improve process control and development. We will talk about challenges for this factory to maintain a leading position in the semiconductor manufacturing. And as an outlook, we demonstrate the value of workflows and data at the interface to customers and as a basis for the future technology development. Yeah, let's start with a short introduction. I'm Daniel, the Chief Product Owner of eWOCS. eWOCS called Electronic Workflow Control Suite, our internal project name. And yeah, in a standard way, I'm the project lead in our organization. Let's hand over to Matús.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. I'm tech lead for Flowable Solutions here in Germany and supporting Daniel and Bosch or eWOCS since, I guess, 1 year with this awesome project. Thank you, Daniel.
Let's go to the next slide. So I will present a little quote. One of my quotes was, increasing data-based digital efficiency is the key of the future. Matús, most of the Excel-based processes can be easily automated. We see it in the next few minutes. Let's go on. So let's start with a small introduction. Our Bosch in-house semiconductor sites are worldwide. I'm staying in Dresden in our 300mm wafer fab. We have also a fab near Stuttgart and Reutlingen with a 200mm wafer fab. Then we have 3 types of semiconductor testing in Suzhou, in Penang, and in Hatvan. And yeah, this is our global network for semiconductors. Let's jump one step deeper. Reutlingen was the last years like the main platform for Bosch, producing 115 and 200mm wafer size. It's a diameter, and on a clean room size with 12,000 square meters. And now the new one in Dresden, putting the technology on the next level, producing 300mm wafer size. And yeah, we now ramping up to clean room size amount and 10,000 square meters. One step deeper, Silicon Saxony is called a big network of manufacturing, of researching, and also, helping companies in this cluster, working nearly 70,000 or a little bit more than 70,000 employees. And for example, the eWOCS project is the first of this kind in this network, in the Silicon Saxony network. So it has, or it should be a big future there. So, Matús, let's go. Let's go on this really on our Bosch plant. Our Bosch plant, the Smart Fab, is fully planned in 3D with more than 1,000 database tables, 250 megabytes on sensor data, and mostly fully automated with data exchange to suppliers, to service providers, facilities, and also on the manufacturing side. You see here on the slide the BIM model, the digital model of our fab, and also as in the construction side, the production side have to really work with a lot of data and use data to improve everything in the daily work. Let's go to the next slide. But we're speaking every time as one of the best use cases, best smart fab, but also we have problems. One of these problems are like the digital efficiency, that our engineers had a lot of software requests. Oh, please use this software, please use, please develop anything for my use case. We sometimes have a problem with ping pong communication via MS Teams, you know it, in the Corona time, and also with Outlook or emails. And we had like a little bit a lack of guided processes, which are mostly working in Excel and which are not suitable for this purpose. And what we have to do to remove Excel or to reduce Excels, please tap one more time, Matús. We have to delete, or we have to remove, or we have to establish more guided processes with this point that we implement workflow interactions in the SIM software system, and not only don't only play with the trust in 4 eyes principles. Play really with real data and with a lot of data. Let's go to the next slide. Our quality and approval issues. Matús, it's a time for you. Please share your experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing to see the fabric, working there. And we was starting the project, I guess, end of last year. And all of the eWOCS project people has introduced us somehow in the business of the creation of some kind of chips. And then there was this change management process, which was pretty interesting. And I was just somehow scared, as I've heard that all of the stuff which we can see in the production are somehow automated through Excel. So basically, I mean, I guess Daniel would explain it a little bit more in a couple of more slides. But if you just see that there are more than 800 steps in such kind of production, and you have round about 40 columns and so on, then to find the differences is pretty weird. And I was just wondering how are they doing it? So I mean, there are not that big monitors here. You can just select it. But at the end of the day, I mean, for my imagination, it's something like the old play. We all played in our childhood. With find the differences is in 2 different pictures, but the pictures has a lot more, a lot more elements, and the consequences are pretty expensive.
So we have to remove the manual approval of changes. And this is today in Excel a little bit impossible. Let's move to the next slide. What is our vision? Our vision is an application with the selection of tailored to individual employees and their function in the fab. to use really fast and efficient development of workflow applications, to access our sim landscape with all our manufacturing execution systems, with our manufacturing monitoring systems, to access everything in the parameterization in an automated way, and not only to do the approval in a digital way, also to have the push in all our automatic systems in an automatic way. And this is a need which we want to put in workflow applications like workflow apps, which are similar, intuitive, and comparable with smartphone apps, because everyone has a smartphone, everyone uses a smartphone 6, 8, 10 hours a day. So now is a really big goal or the vision to put all our use cases from the data handling and the automated fabric in a smartphone app for production. Let's move on. What we do for this? We started the project, digital collaboration, electronic workflow control suite, eWOCS, and yeah, push the button, Matús. We screening the market. We see a lot of competition and names like Flowable and all these competition companies on the market. We need enablers like a good workflow engine. We need standardized processes and a good system integration. The good system integration is, for example, an use case which really reduce the competition on the market. And what is our value? We want to have faster outputs, less errors, mostly less human errors, and yeah, to really establish like a knowledge storage. If anyone leaves our company, that we have his knowledge and our systems. Smart people, smart fab. Let's start with some use cases. We speak a lot about eWOCS, but what is really eWOCS? eWOCS is the workflow engine in the first use case for technology, that we prepare our production systems. So we call it setup prepare, with the production routes and also with the recipes which are needed for the production. Also with the new production and new product introduction, and also the quality, where we have to really measure, for example, the change management, all these planned changes, or the deviation management. We also have in our production system unplanned deviations. So we have to take care and really solve the problem behind this. For example, with ultra pure water, it's less than 10 sugar cubes are really influenced there. Manufacturing, we use more than 250 routes, 800 steps from the start to the end, and also 90 days process time. If you have any mistake or any failure in the production system, you don't see it with your eye. You only see it with crazy detailed systems with only very, very specific and cost-intensive diagnostics. So you have to take care that you set up the manufacturing part really, really good. Also the facility, we use more than 200 tools with 200 sensors per tool, with a lot of data, but how we want to improve and to guide the engineers to do all our processes as good as possible. The next use case, measurements. We have 150 measurement steps, 2,500 measurements per wafer. It's mostly really a good process flow, but you have to implement this and you have to guide the engineer behind this. The next step, product test or first wafer test. We have so much wafers to testing. We have so much steps behind this. And this is really important for all our customers. And it's absolutely needed that we have workflows and guidance behind this for all our implemented engineers or workers there. But now I speak a lot about use cases, and it's crazy complex and how we want to achieve this. We started last year with a POC. We wrote down a roadmap. We developing the first use cases. Sometimes it's really hard to find the start of so big project. After the POC, we got the point that we say, okay, Flowable is good enough for this, is cool, and also our mimacom guys are really, really big help and they do a great job. Let's start with our POC stand and develop an MVP to develop the first pilot. Also with some questions, how to handle all our big goals, our big use cases, which architecture we need for this. And we are still 2 weeks away from our Fab go live to use all our eWOCS use cases really in the production system. So let's hand over to Matús. He wants to explain how we did it in a technical way.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I guess everyone from you is somehow interested, what have we done? So basically, if we take a look at the project and all of the slides, then on the right side, you can see all of the use cases. And I have just selected a couple of use cases where we are currently working to show some kind of challenges which we are basically targeting. So there are a lot of requirements from all of the people in the eWOCS, and one of them would be something like create environment for different domains, because all of those teams are working separately. So there are different departments, there are different domains and different use cases. As Daniel has told, something like apps. Ensure the independent deployment. What's something like that meaning is that we want to have DevOps there. So we didn't want to have one deployment per year or something like that. We want to be able to change everything pretty fast. And we want to definitely avoid the monolithic architecture. So we didn't want to have these 2 deployments per year. We want to be pretty fast with changes, with fixes, with new features and everything. And we want to enhance the Flowable platform we need, because it's the use case is unbelievably complex, and the tables or the Excel sheets are pretty big. So we have to add some kind of new features there. Then we want to, or Daniel wants from us to simplify the access row process, to provide usable UIs and a lot more. But what have we achieved, or how are we approaching if we take those couple of requirements? So we have introduced domain-driven design separation. So we have separated the business domains in different kind of domains. So the lila one are the domains for the rules management, the daemon, everything what Daniel was talking about. And we have separated the platform development or the platform team from those as well, because we want to have a stable platform. And at the end of the day, independent domains with the independent deployments and release cycle and so on, similar to this app or to the handy things. And if we take a little bit closer look, then we have different kind of artifacts which we are working. So basically, we have this Flowable platform, which is base of our engine. And we have the differentiation, which maybe someone of you has already seen with the low code and pro code. And basically, there is a focus on the low code, because if the domains are just creating low code, then we didn't have any dependencies between them. But how we can achieve is to separate the business functionality in the microservices. So we are creating a lot of microservices there, and but enable them to do custom add-ons to create something for Flowable if they need it. So that's not something like you just use no code or low code and you cannot extend the platform. With the challenge to provide stable platform, because every add-on can destroy a platform. So that's something which we are currently trying to fix or trying to establish a real proper architecture there. And yeah, basically taking a look at another things, then you can see the first pictures of our application would be simplify the access row process. I mean, that was pretty nice idea. I have never seen something like that before. But basically, if you can take a look at all of these elements, and if you have company as Bosch, then they have a pretty heavy rule-based system there. So all of these domains, which are business-oriented, has only a couple of users which can access them and do something like that, do something in those domains. So basically, to ensure the easiest way how they can, add the access there, we have created something like eWOCS role management, which is looking like this one. So that's the application, that's the current application which is in production right now. So every user in Dresden can access this application, and he just see nothing. So he just see the home and role requests. And as you can see, that's the customized Flowable works. Flowable is a white label enabled, so we can just do it like that. We have this role request, and then he can just say, okay, I do want to have some kind of new roles, and the application would be productive in 2 weeks. And everything what he get is just, the application would plug there, similar as you are using it on your Android or Apple phone. So basically, we are enabling, or we are creating the access rows through the standard Bosch processes, but you can self-request the roles there. And then you get, those 3 different domains with those use cases. So that we didn't have any that many times, so I just jump in the last one. So provide usable UIs. You have already seen them. So we have created pretty funny UIs. So we have one person on our side which is just doing UX concepts there, which is changing the functionality of or the UX for all Flowable application we do have there, because we want to achieve that the people can work with it without trainings for 2 weeks or something like that. And then you can see, and we have created custom themes or CSS and a lot of custom form elements. So we have I guess 10 or 12 already there. So we are extending the possibilities of the low-code functionality. Everything which you can see here is low-code provided, so you can model it at the end of the day, and each new application can just reuse those elements. And that's the powerness of the Flowable here. Yeah, and that are the screens, or that are the use cases.
Like landing page of our apps.
So that's how it's currently looking, and it's going to be productive in 2 weeks. So it's currently tested. So everything which you can see there is not just a demo or screens. It's really proper application with, unbelievable UX, I guess. So Daniel, that would be it, I guess.
Yeah, let's jump out of the fab. Hopefully, if anyone stays in Dresden, let's connect, let's talk about, let's meet. And yeah, thank you for your attention. And let's start with a proper Q&A.
Perfect. So that was really interesting to see what you guys did there. I think, the short time, I think it's also the important factor. And that's also one of the questions we got, is actually how long in total. I think you mentioned you started last year with a POC, right? But how long in total did the implementation take?
We started last year in the September with the POC. I think the hardest point was to really find the first use case or the starting point, because you have in your mind 100 use cases. Okay, that sounds great, and that sounds in the theory mostly really easy. But if you start a use case and you start with the dividing in small workflows and small little points of application, then you find, okay, it's harder, it's crazy hard. Okay, let's find the next use case. And so we're struggling the first time to really find the first use case. But yeah, I think the starting point was last year, September, October.
Cool.
But now, the whole year, pushing. We built up our team, and now we are still facing the go live.
Yeah, and I think another question maybe for you, Daniel, is about. I mean, you mentioned a bit like you did the evaluation of the products, right, and stuff like this. But what was concretely the goal? Let's say the initial goal you had, why you wanted to go down this path, and do you think you already met them, or is there more to do to meet the goals you set yourself at the beginning?
If I'm honest, we screening a lot of our software requesting points or the software requesting sheets, and 90% of all the sheets asking for anything with workflows or anything with processes. And Flowable is not the first the first workflow engine in the whole Bosch world, but we checked all our existing workflows or workflow systems with the point that they really help us with data-driven workflows to really start up to connect all our APIs, DWH, MES, and so on. Does our workflow engines really support the standards like BPMN, CMNN, and so on? I write my diploma thesis in the CMNN topic, so I was really focusing mostly also on CMNN. And if we look on the European competition market and search for CMNN, then it's not a big competition as you want normally as a Bosch brand. So
I mean, that's a bit
Flowable really a leader. Absolutely, there's Flowable really a leader, and there was one of the major points also with supporting all our API connections then to choose Flowable.
And can you also these goals? I mean, is it possible to quantify it? Like how many, let's say, manual processes have you been able to, let's say, automate already? Like, I mean, you talked also about removing Excels. It's possible to say like how much Excels maybe you removed?
We have our POC use case was to remove or to implement the engineering change management and a workflow. And in only this one workflow, we create an time difference from 60 to 15 minutes, really have 4 times faster workflow. And also on the second side, we eliminate 6 to 7 Excels, mostly big Excels like rules out of our regulations. ZVE, it's Zentralverband for Electronic Things. So they really have a big matrix, how you want to cluster all your changes. This is one part. You get as Bosch a big Excel. Okay, you have to read it and you have to really identify what is your change. And with Flowable, we introduce there a system that the Excel is translated in a cool system, which really helps the user or the engineer to select the change with 2 to 3 clicks. So we have a lot of small and mostly big use cases, but it's hard to identify amount. I think let's talk in 3 to 5 years, and then I can give you a number.
Okay, I will take this up in 3 years then. Let's see. The other one, maybe another question we got from the audience is a bit like, so you did this now once and you talked a lot about, let's say, with Dresden and stuff, right? I mean, you also talked a bit about Reutlingen. Are you planning concretely to replicating the solution, or what are the other plans?
We have a big focus also from Reutlingen to Dresden, and everyone in the Bosch world is seeing, okay, there is a crazy new thing in Dresden which pops up and now is really productive and working. So our Dresden plant is really special with all our systems and all our data-driven architecture. So I think we can 10 to 15 or 20% we can reuse, for example, for rifling, but yeah, you have to modify it. But we have a lot of use cases which are now screening Flowable also in our Bosch worldwide network.
Cool. And the last question for today, before we end this session, it's let's say maybe really short. What was the biggest challenge introducing the solution, especially when we're talking about introducing it into the everyday processes at Bosch, right? Because I think users already are using a lot of applications, right? So how did you tackle that, right? I mean, how you tackle to bring another tool, so to say, to the users?
I think the hardest point is to really have a changed mind or a really mind flow from our engineers. They're working 20, 25, I don't know how old is Excel, but really long time with Excel. They have this Excel view and they every time know mostly 80 to 90% of this Excel functions. And now we want, as a project lead from eWOCS, okay, please please forget your Excel and go in our UI and use our UI and our workflow for all your daily work. Yeah, it's transition. It's really hard. Firstly, to proceed with the requirements engineering, to really get out all this informations out of their mind from the engineer, and then to really secure that they use it, and yeah, don't jump back to the familiar Excel world.
I mean, if you take a look at our slides, Fabio, then the last one, the last feature is the most important feature. So we have found out pretty fast, I guess, in the POC phase, and after 1 month, that acceptance would be not there if we are just using, the standards. Therefore, we have added UX designer to our team pretty fast, which is doing amazing job, because, as I told, if you have Excel with 40 columns, you cannot just show it in one web application. So we have to find out new ideas, how we can enhance it, how we can provide a lot of support for the end users. But we are doing it really well. So I'm pretty surprised how good we are currently doing and how the UX is working there. But it's one of the most important member of the team, I would say, because he's enabling our customers at the end of the day.
You can compare it a little bit with the transition from phones with buttons to a smartphone. So you have to really ensure that everyone, or the biggest crowd, wants to change and find a new solution cool. So, and this is really a point which we are focusing, and yeah, then also improving and scaling up all our workflows, so that it's really a support and a help, and not a new bigger use case or a new bad thing for all our engineers.
Cool. Yeah, it was an exciting session. I come back to you, Daniel, in 3 years, as we said. We will talk again. That also.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So thank you very much, both of you, Matús and Daniel. It was really interesting to see what you guys achieved already. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see more in the future on how the Bosch Flowable journey continues, so to say. And yeah, for the audience, we're going to go again in a short break for 15 minutes, more or less. And then we're going to continue with 3 more exciting customer sessions later on. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah, see you soon again.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.